Okay, everyone, welcome to the show today. Bringing you a little bit, to be perfectly honest, a video that I'm a little surprised at, kind of a market update, not one that's just based in, facts and figures and data that sometimes is not super useful, but a little bit of that mixed with personal experience right now related to where are we? Like, is it still, we went from, to recap very briefly, hardcore seller's market during the couple years centered around COVID to then basically the market shutting down because interest rates climbed, and then the buyers had all the advantage because everyone was like freaked out, not buying anything or selling anything. So the buyers had all the power. So where are we right now? Well, it would appear there's begun, right, to be a little bit of a shift again. And I wouldn't even say shift, but a little bit of a return to normalcy. And I emphasize a little bit. Okay, so here's what happened. Around April, May, last year, 2022, rates started going up, right? And they got up to about 7%. And this all happened so quickly that all the buyers either got priced out or were so freaked out because of the turmoil and the uncertainty. They said, we ain't doing anything right now. We're going to sit back and we're going to see how this thing pans out. Same thing with the sellers. They're going, let's not sell anything right now because it's just too chaotic. Like, let's let the dust settle a little bit. So it would appear that the dust is beginning to settle just a bit. And the buyers are starting to say, okay, it appears that the economy is going to be dicey for a little bit, and we can't hold off on, we're kind of holding off, hoping maybe it just sort of miraculously fixed itself, but that's not going to happen. So I guess we'll go ahead and get back into the pool, knowing that we might have a little less buying power right now because of the rates. The rates are down a little bit, right? They're starting to, they're, I think, around 6%, give or take, right now. So they're down about a point, and allegedly maybe are going to hit the fives coming up soon. So that's what's happening with the buyers, right? And then on the seller side, again, they're going, well, it appears this economic climate is going to be around for a minute. So I guess we better go ahead and try to get this house sold. Now, that's what allegedly is happening. I will tell you that as a boots on the ground perspective here in the Salt Lake market, that's not been my experience. Our buyer leads are very slow right now. Now, granted, I work with a lot of military, law enforcement clientele, things like that. If you need more info on that, by the way, just go to the 1911syndicate.com. It'll kind of break down what we do in our real estate business in the event that you might need help one day. Not that we're just for that market, but that's largely who we are catered to. So I'll tell you that our buyer leads have been very slow. We have, a little more on the selling side than historical compared to buyer to seller ratio. A little higher on the listing lead side right now. But ironically, last week I had a listing go live for a client, and I just told them, hey, you need to kind of buckle up for the long haul here. This is probably going to take a minute. Even though I'm hearing things are a little better, I'm not seeing and feeling that personally. But ironically, inside of 2 days, we actually wound up having 2 offers. So we actually had a multiple offer situation on this place. First time buyer price point here in Utah, which is, that number is going to depend based on your climate. But we wound up having 2 offers, and I was very surprised at this. When we listed it, we had, I think on the first day, just 1 showing, and then on the next day I did an open house. A couple people came through that, and we had, I think, about 3, maybe 4 other showings that were scheduled outside of the open house that day. And so the traffic surprised me a little because I thought, man, probably going to be virtually nothing. And then we had the 2 offers come through, and then 1 thought about sending an offer but didn't wind up coming through. So I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting, because that was not my experience of what would have happened 3 to 6 months ago. So it does appear maybe things are picking up ever so slightly. Not to the point where you now have leverage as a seller, but I think the thing that is working in the advantage of the sellers is just complete lack of inventory. Yes, the rates are still high. Yes, all that's still a reality. The buyer pool is small, but there's so little inventory that if your place is decent and you price it appropriately, you might start having a better shot at selling it now. And keeping in mind, this is the first month of the year, which is historically very slow. January is not known to be a great real estate month. So it's one of those things, just hey, there's no real point to this other than this is a little bit of perspective that things might be starting to get a little bit better in the market, at least as a balanced market perspective. So yeah, take that for what you will. You guys are welcome to subscribe to the channel. We would encourage it, actually, or drop us a comment, especially if you have real estate questions. Those are actually quite helpful, as I have a stinking dog snoot staring at me down here. Yeah, drop a question. We're happy to cover it in a video. Otherwise, hope you guys are doing good. See you next time.